Hello and welcome to the Awaken the Giant Within live book review. My name is Yawande and I'm here with a very special guest all the way from South Africa. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Emmanuel and I'm very happy to be part of Awaken the Giant Within live stream today. And I hope you guys will enjoy.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us today, Emmanuel. So Emmanuel is part of the SRUK team, South Africa. I'm all the way over here in the UK, and it's actually his first time ever live with us. So guys, show him some love, show him some support. He's here to share his wisdom with us, and we are here to talk on the 21st chapter of Tony Robbins' book, relationships, and how to understand that and really make the most of it. And Emmanuel, I would say, is more experienced than me anyway in relationships. So Emmanuel, thank you so much for joining us today. How do you feel? How are you feeling?
Thank you, Wendy. No, Wendy, I think that this part of today, especially this chapter, relationship, it touches me because mostly when you read this chapter, you get to realize that many times when we get into relationships, we tend to forget or we tend not to focus on our outcome. And you just get into relationship, be it business relationship, your work relationship, your personal relationship, but we need to know what is the outcome, what will be the outcome, what is it I want in this relationship, but most of us normally we get into the relationships without having that in mind, and then what happens is it leads us into hating each other's feelings, and because we don't understand each other, like we don't get even a time to actually find out what are the qualities that my partner likes. How do I communicate with my partner? You need to learn and be able to communicate that out loud to your partner or with your partner.
Yeah, no, 100%. Relationships and understanding the implications and how it can, simple things or things that get blown out of proportion can be so simply solved if we just understood how to deal with people and understand people. But I think that's one of another key things they don't teach us in school. They don't teach us how to talk to people. They don't teach us how to treat people properly. I mean, there's always like fundamental principles of treat others the way you want to be treated, be nice, be kind, don't be mean. But when it comes to actually understanding people, and which is one of the points that is put in this chapter when Tony talks about understanding your partner. But before we go deeper into this, I know we're so excited to start on this. This is like an amazing topic because I know a lot of people are struggling in relationships or understanding people. And I personally, as a person who's always valued understanding others and understanding why people think the way they think and act the way they act. So I always try and read up and, I analyze people to an extent to understand what triggers them, what makes them the way they are, how to talk to them to get the best result. And I feel like regardless whether it's a romantic relationship, family relationship, friendship relationship, having that skill and that understanding of how to talk to people and how to understand people will help you so much in life, stop you from having loads of stress, loads of miscommunication, loads of unnecessary fights, and help you get the best result. But anyway, before we go deeper in, I just want to say, guys, if you can hear and see us, please put 1 in the comment box, and also let us know where you are tuning in from. We would love to get to know you guys. You guys are our community. We do this for you guys to help grow you, to help motivate you, to inspire you to be the best you can be. That's why we are here. The Success Resources team are committed to serving you, and make sure that you really engage, you ask questions. We are here to interact with you, and we'll be checking up in the comments to make sure that you guys are good and are understanding where we are coming from, and if you can see and hear us okay. Just let us know if there's any bugs, and our support team will try and help fix it ASAP. So yes, Emmanuel, let's go. So I don't know if anyone has actually read the book and has read this chapter. Let us know what you think and what's your favorite part and what's your biggest takeaways. But let's start with the first point. Tony talks about the 6 valuable points of any relationship, and Don't be
Yes.
fooled and feel like it has to be a romantic relationship. This can be any relationship because this stands in everything,
Yeah.
whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, whoever you're talking to, your colleagues,
Yes.
it can be transferred all the way across. So make sure that you take notes for these two as well.
Yeah.
So the first point that is mentioned in the book, I'm going to read it out. If you don't know the values and the rules of people whom you share a relationship with, you should prepare for pain. So I'm just going to quickly go over what I think that's translates to. So if you don't understand who it is you're with, or who it is that you are friends with, or your family, your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, your partner, your kids, if you don't understand what they love, what they don't like, who they are, it's kind of like understanding their love language. Like if you don't know how to love that person the way they want to be loved or the way they receive love, it's going to be really hard to communicate to them that you love them or you appreciate them, because they only speak a certain love language. I don't know, Emmanuel, have you heard of the love languages before? Do you know what they are?
No, for me, before I answer your question, what happens is I've noticed that many people, what they do is when we get into relationship, we want to change the other person to be whom we want them to be. And forgetting that changing a person is a full-time job trying to change a person.
Yeah.
And you'll end up not knowing who you are as well, losing yourself in that process. So instead, if you stick to what Tony is saying, understand the values and the rules of that particular person, and learn to adjust to the rules, and then they will do the same. They will adjust to you, what you love, your values and stuff, and then from there we grow together as partners, or partners in business, partners in our love life, partners in friendship, colleagues. We just need to understand the level of communication and how do we communicate with each other in that process. And I do love the rules, like you, when you are reading it out loud, it says again, people can love each other, but if whatever reason they constantly break the rules, again it goes back to the rules and the value. If we constantly breaking the rules, calling each other's names, whenever we have fights or whenever we have arguments, let us not pinpoint every time. Let us stop calling names, say you are like this, you are this, you are this. No, call your person and say, love, let's sit down. If there is anything, let's discuss this thing thoroughly. I don't like it when you communicate with me in this manner. Don't say I hate it. Hate it. It's a very big word.
It's a powerful, it's a triggered word. It's a loaded word. It can throw someone off the edge.
So immediately when you say hate, someone might think that means you hate me. How do you fall in love with me while you are hating? So but if you say
it goes
I don't
into
like
a
it
different
when you
combo,
because it triggers some points, some certain buttons to certain people. But if you discuss it nicely in a nice way to say, I don't like it when you do certain things. And the other thing that I personally use then when it comes to especially understanding and communicating with my partner, this is what I'll do. If there's something important that we need to discuss, we are watching TV or we are listening to radio or whatever, I'll ask that, can we switch off the TV or can we switch off the radio, even our mobile phone, so we can discuss this thing thoroughly. So I won't miss anything that you said, because we'll end up agreeing to something that you didn't want to agree. You just said yes because my focus was on my smartphone or some text came in. So you end up, and then after the decision has been made or something been bought, you ask yourself, we didn't need to change the house. No, but you said yes when we come here. Why? Because
your wife has probably tricked you. You've been tricked too many times. You're speaking from experience. No, I 100% agree with you. Like, especially in this generation, there's so many distractions, so much technology that is just talking at us. Like, we don't take time to just sit in the quiet and just be present with each other, so you can proper understand and communicate and digest everything that's being said. So you're not agreeing to maybe something that you don't want to agree to, or you're just trying to shut that other person up. You're actually investing your 100% attention, which I feel like is a lot of the issue with a lot. I think male and female relationships, women want to be focused. They want you to listen to them and to be like just consume with what they're saying, and men just like they just want to know like, yeah, okay, cool, yeah, like they don't really want.
Yeah, because they cannot even engage. Yeah, at sometimes they don't even engaging with you. They don't even understand what you were saying. They just know in their head. Yes, guess why? Because they are consumed with the phones or whatever that is happening on TV or what is playing in the background on radio. So they're listening to that. But what they do, I always say, they are listening to the music. They are hearing you speak, and they just
automatically, yeah. Yeah.
They're not listening to you. It's not that the person is listening to you. He's hearing you speak. But with these 6 fundamentals of successful relationship that Tony shares, I believe that if we get to put them into practice, let them be part of our everyday life, then we may be able to unlock or unleash certain parts that we individuals didn't even know about ourselves, that we are so powerful in that particular area. And it can, hopefully, they can even, not hopefully, they can be able to help many relationships that are now, some people are now thinking or going through divorce. But if you get to ask what is the cause of that, you might find that the issue is they didn't know how to communicate. They didn't have a set of rules or values that they need to agree upon. So if one was busy with something, the other is busy with something, they don't have the same goals, they don't share. Yes, I need to have my own personal goal, and we need to have, again, a relationship goal or our marriage goal to say, we need to see ourselves there. And you as my partner also need to have your own goals to say, I want to achieve, and then we merge them to see how do we support each other to achieve those goals.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And even I was gonna say, when it comes to understanding the differences in what I was gonna say, the understanding in the differences of the love languages, which is something is really, for me, has helped me so much to communicate with the relationships I have to other people and how they want to be loved. Because I don't know if you've heard about it. Let me know as well in the comments if you know about those 5 love languages. I think it's physical touch, words of affirmation, physical gifts, quality time, and there's a 5th one. I can't remember. If you remember the 5th and final one, let me know. But those are the different. Do you know it?
I think the other one is honesty and trust. I'm not sure.
It's quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, gifts, and quality time. Did I already say? I feel like I said
quality time. You did say quality time.
I already said it, right? Let me Google it. Okay, I'm Google it. But anyway, there's 5 love languages, and once I started to understand that other people's love languages or the other way other people want to be loved is not the same way I want to be loved. So when I show love to someone, I will show them love in the way that I want to be loved, because I know how I want to be loved. So that communicates love to me when I do that. So when I started to actually become more aware of other people and what their love language is and how they want to be loved and appreciated, that's when I was able to get through. Because, for example, one of my top love languages is physical touch. So I love to be hugged. I love, affectionate. I'm super. But my brother and my sister, they're not. They're the opposite. They don't want to be hugged. They don't want to be touched. And I would always try to hug them and show them that I love them, and they would just get angry and annoyed and frustrated because that's not their love language. But when I started giving my little sister gifts, that's more of her love language, and she felt more loved when I gave her gifts rather than when I hugged her, because that was not the way she wanted to be loved. But at the same time, you want people to understand how you want to be loved, so you communicate that to them, and then so they can love you properly. Because then people may do things for you, and then it's like, okay, but then it doesn't mean anything to you because that's not the way you want to be loved. So, for example, your love language may, like a lot of women love quality time. They want to spend time, as you said, they want to talk, they want to interact, they want to be heard and seen. But someone else's love language may be, acts of service. That's it. Acts of service. So when, like, for example, a man's one might be acts of service. So when a woman cooks for him and, you know, gets all his clothes done, or, you know, does things for, that's when he feels like he's loved. But if you don't understand that, a woman might be, you know, hugging and kissing her man a lot and not think that he feels love in that, when really he wants things to be done for him to feel loved. The same way as her, she may want gifts from, you know, him to feel loved. And if, oh, you used to buy me flowers all the time, you don't buy me flowers anymore, you don't love me. You know what I mean? So I guess understanding how you want to be loved and how others want to be loved is so important, and will get you so much further in your relationships than, you know, just either working from your love language or not actually even trying to love them at all. I don't know if that makes sense, guys. Let us know what your love language is in the comments below, so that we can, you know, just see what everyone, you know, different ways that people. What would you say your love language is, Emmanuel?
Yo, I'm a touchy person. I love being touched. I like hugs, you know. And but I also know that my partner doesn't like all those things. Doesn't want to be touched. She does, but I do. But she talks too much, you know? So I need to listen to her. She loves talking. She wants to be heard. So so I do understand, and to a certain level where we end up understanding each other to say, oh, this one is a touchy person, this one is a talkative person. She likes to be. She always talks and she wants to be heard. Like, and it's a very powerful tool, that thing of listening to your partner. Yeah, like, because whenever you listen to them, you get to pick up certain things that makes them happy, what makes them to tick.
It's the little things.
Always just listen to what they say. Even, you know, sometimes get to even the facial expression. It tells when they talk to you, while they're angry, while they are happy, and you get to see, okay, now we are playing. It's a joking. It's in a joking manner, but this one, no, it didn't come in a joking manner. So you just need to understand all those things. Like now, if you go to Tony's on fundamental number 2, he says that sometimes some of the biggest challenge in relationships comes from the fact that most people enter a relationship in order to get something. So they are trying to find someone who's going to make them feel good. In reality, the only way in a relationship will last is if you see your relationship as a place that you go to give, and not a place that you go to take. So meaning that when we get into relationships, we just need to make sure that I give a lot of love, and whatever that you get, but not to go there and say, I want. I just want to take whatever.
It's about me.
I need.
It's selfish. That's a very selfish. That's a very toxic relationship from the start. A lot of people. Like, oh, what about me? You're supposed to be doing this for me. If you love me, you'll do this. You do that. It's not about, like, if you both do your part and love each other naturally, the way you know how to love, then it will be filled. You don't need to be telling people, like, oh, no, you need to do this. You need to, like, either you're not compatible, and if they don't want to do those things, they're obviously not compatible. So you just need to move on to the next part. But that is so true.
Yes. And another thing is assumptions. We need to stop assuming that our partners knows. Because yes, we may date for 10, 20 years. I can't assume that you are angry. Or I can't assume that buying you a new smartphone will make you happy. I can't assume. So you can't say you've been staying with me for about 10, 20 years. You still don't know what makes me angry. Like, man, I can't assume. Those are assumptions. I'll be assuming. You need to tell me that, hey, man, now you are not doing the things the way you used to do. So I can't assume that you are happy or you are angry. You need to come forward and say, I don't like it when you do this, or I'm not happy today because of this. I'm not happy because you've said something that I don't like. Oh, okay, sure. Or next time I won't say it in that way. I was just joking. So yeah. So assumptions we must take assumptions in relationships out of relationships. We must take them out because we can't assume. We can't keep assuming that this person understand or this person knew that you. Sometimes I may forget your birthday because of work-related stuff.
It's never okay to forget the birthday, man. No, there's no excuse. What? No, you can't. Oh my days. I'm joking. But yeah, I could,
but yeah, you can.
I don't think I would be understanding if you really, me personally, if someone forgot, if you're my partner and you forgot my birthday, just forget the relationship. Forget it. If you're gonna forget my birthday, the day that I blessed you, and you're just gonna forget. Okay.
So
cool.
yeah. So what do you think? Is it okay if you forget mine?
No, I won't. I'll make sure because you're important to me. I'll make sure I know the day that you came into the world. Like, But yeah,
no, I do understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's one of those things that we need to make sure that those are part or some of the things that makes the relationship not to work at sometimes, because someone might say, how do you forget my relationship, my baby? That means I'm not that important to you.
Yeah.
So
you make up your own story in your head, as Tony says.
Yeah.
A lot of
things that person, Yeah, and then that story that we have made up, it becomes reality, and then it becomes a fact to you. Yeah. So the story that we tell ourselves, it's actually, sometimes it may be true that we are going through all those things. Maybe I'm busy at work, whatever, it slipped my mind. But that's the story I'm telling myself. I'm supposed to remember your birthday.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't buy a present, but that to call you and say happy birthday, then you'll be able to remember that I need to buy a present. Yeah.
No, it's just being, I guess, it's just not, the story thing is so big because the stories is what causes the distance and then the lack of communication, because you've already made up your mind for the other person and how they feel and what they believe. And we need to understand, once you understand that people don't think the way we think, or have the same life experiences, so they don't always understand things or do things the way we do. Is we become messed up when we expect people to act just like us and behave just like us. Like, oh, if it was me, I would do this, I would do that, but that isn't you. So they're not gonna do exactly what you do. So, and that's one thing I had to, because I used to be, there was a toxic behavior that sometimes like I kind of still do, but I'm trying to be better, right? That literally when someone doesn't treat me the way I don't want to be treated, I'll close off and I'll become passive aggressive. So me, you can see I'm an energetic, lovely, bubbly person. But if someone gets on my nerves or doesn't treat me the way I want to be treated, I shut down and I just begin like my face hardens. I don't talk, like I won't tell them what's wrong. I will just stop acting in my fun, happy, bubbly self. When they realize that okay, she's not happy, they will fix up. That was my way of like letting people know that what you're doing is not right, like passive aggressive. And once I realized that actually is not, I should just communicate, because some people, they don't even realize that you're being passive aggressive. They just don't even, like, some people don't read in, they don't have a lot of emotional intelligence to know that, oh, this person's upset, so they'll just live in their lives normally happy, going about their day, and then you're wondering why is this person like, they don't care, they've done this, they should be thinking that, and then you're fighting yourself, still trying to be angry and upset with that person is fine. But you're only really, hurting yourself by doing that. And the first thing is this communication is key, and understanding people don't think the way you think. They may have been raised in a different way, they have different life experiences, they have different, understanding of how life is. So it's all about perspective and understanding that other people's perspective is not your perspective, not to say that yours is right or theirs is wrong, it's just different. So have like the foresight to understand that people aren't like you. People won't be like, you may be a nice person, not everyone's nice. We understand that not necessarily that that's a good thing to be, but that's just the way it is at the moment. You can communicate to them if you have a problem, but you can't just expect people to be, or assume, as you said, to be or act a certain way because you think that's the right way. It doesn't make sense.
Yes, and again, my way may not be your way of dealing with things. And we just need to understand that part again, that I may be right, but I may be wrong when it comes to your own view. I may be right in my view to say, okay, I'm not gonna tell you one day that I'm not happy with what she just did now. But with you one day, I may be wrong because I should have told her the minute it happened that day, because she might do it again. She might do it again next time because I didn't tell her that, you know what, one day I don't like it, that I don't like that thing. And then I decided to say, I'll see if it can happen the next time. And the next time when it happens, now it seems like, you keep doing this thing purposely, blah, blah, blah. It's going back to what assumptions that I assume that this person will know that I was not happy at that time when she first did that particular thing. So it's one of those challenges that we face normally in relationship, not only in a personal relationship, in business as well. You might find that I was communicating with one of the resellers or a partner, and then I will say to the partner, you can get from up to 50%, from 20 to 50% in commission. But I did not tell the partner what it takes for him to get 50% in commission. So now the partner sold just one ticket and then come and say, why do you give me this little? I need to get 50%. You say from 20 to 50%, but I didn't tell that person that, you know what, if you make this number of tickets, you will get this much. And then at the end of the day, that particular person end up saying, you know what, I'm not going to work with that person anymore. Why? Because the relationship now is spoiled because our communication was never clear. Our communication was never clear. So, and to fix that, the broken relationships, it's tough. It takes time. Like it takes time to rebuild a relationship that has been lost or that has been broken. So you need to get out of your own way to make sure that you keep the relationship, and then make sure that at least now, whatever that you do, you are open and willing to learn how that person or how that person is or is actually going to be responsive to you. Sometimes it may take time for them to allow you back in their life because they still need to go through a process of healing, and they need to understand, and we need to understand the healing part. Not only on personal relationship or love life, also on the friendships. We need to understand that in business, we also need to understand business relationship. We also need to understand all those healing process that one gets to go through, and then in a later stage, we get to discuss it and move to the next step.
No, 100%.
So I think for our viewers, if anyone has experienced any challenge, you can just drop us a text in the comment box to say, hey, I've experienced this type of a challenge, right? So we can see and tell us, how did you overcome that?
Yes. And if you guys struggle with communication, let us know. And you know, what is it that you've noticed about yourself? Because it's always two ways. There's always, no one's always right on one side, or even if you are right, you need to understand that, you know, okay, I need to be more patient with this person because this person doesn't have as much understanding as I do. So there's always ways to improve on either side, and, you know, try and, you know, make things work, especially if this person means a lot to you, whether they're family, whether they're friends. Like, if you're really willing to make it work, you'll be able to, if there's love really there, because love is all about sacrifice and, you know, giving. So if you really truly want to love on this person and show them love, then you'll make a way to, you know, try and show that to them. And if they obviously, when people take advantage of you or they're not treating you right, you just need to set the boundaries and be like, okay, you've given, this person doesn't, receive it in the way they need to receive it. All you can do is like put a boundary, love them from a distance, and move on. That's it.
Yeah, that's how it should be. And again, I think you want this one you can take us through like the third fundamentals, where Tony says, like anything else in life, in order for a relationship to be nurtured, there are certain things to look for, and not only to look for, and also to look out for.
Yeah.
That okay, we need to understand. Say okay. So what are those things that one can then look out for to say, okay, I want to, I think I love, or I think I'm in love with this person.
Mm-hmm.
What are those qualities that you think people can look at?
Yeah. So as in this part of the book that Tony talks about, he talks about the 4 different stages that can identify whether someone is kind of withdrawing, or your relationship is becoming a bit, there's friction being built, there's tension being built in the relationship, and not in a good way. So because there's good tension and then there's bad tension. We're going to talk about the bad tension.
Yes.
I guess good tension is always easy to see. Like there's free, you feel free, you feel like you can relate to this person. I mean, you can tell me firsthand, what a good relationship feels like, because I can't relate. I can't relate, but someone that's more seasoned and experienced and is in a committed marriage, I mean, you know what it feels like for a marriage to be good, or a relationship to be good and happy and joyful, so you can see this. It's obvious when you're happy in a relationship, but when the friction begins, the negative friction begins, Tony talks about the 4 stages of that process. And the first one is resistance, when you're feeling, initial resistance in terms of maybe, as you said, something triggered them. It was something they said, something they did, or something they didn't do. So, for example, if I, as a woman, my love language might be acts of service. So I feel loved when someone does something for me. So, for example, I could ask my husband to be like, oh, can you please take out the garbage for me? And say, yeah, I'll definitely do it. And then you have a come back home, it hasn't been done. Already that's broken, that's resistance. You did something I didn't like. You said you were going to do something, you didn't do it. Like, this isn't in my, like, it's not about the garbage, it's just the fact your word needs to be your word. Already, then I can go and, say that, oh, you lied, I can't trust you. If you're going to lie about this, you're going to lie about everything else. That, you go on a tangent. You can easily just trickle and spiral if you don't nip it at the bud initially and talk and communicate. It's like, oh, you said you were going to take out the trash and you haven't taken out the trash. Why didn't you take? Okay, I was busy and caught up. I'm sorry. I'm going to do it now. Done.
Yeah.
If you leave it to manifest and fester and it be in your brain, you're going to start looking for stage 2 will happen, which is resentment. You're going to start looking, you're going to start feeling, anger, and those stories in your head will start formulating, as I was just doing an example of, oh, he doesn't respect me, he doesn't love me, he said he was going to do something, he didn't do it, this is going to be a continuous thing, now we're married, he doesn't care anymore. You start building a story in your head. Like, I don't know, I can't everyone, but I'm good at overthinking and creating stories and situations that don't actually exist. So then that builds a lot of resentment and anger against that person, and then that goes into the 3rd stage, which is rejection. So when you go into the rejection, do you want to take over the rejection stage?
No, and resentment. Are we on resentment now?
Yeah, I was about to to rejection, but you can talk about resentment.
Sure, and I think resentment in relationship destroys even emotions of intimacy. So you immediately when your partner, now you're not just annoyed, you are angry with your partner, you begin to actually separate yourself from them and erect an emotional barrier. So once that happens, you end up destroying your emotion of intimacy. And then that disrupt the whole pattern of your relationship there.
Yeah.
So, and That is why we find that some people end up going for to look for another mistress out there, just because now the intimacy part is no longer there at home, and because of just one thing that was supposed to be solved from day one when it started happening.
Yeah, 100%. And that goes on to the next phase, which is rejection. So after the resentment, there's disconnect, intimacy is gone. You're no longer you're becoming passive aggressive, as I said. You're not talking. You're not affectionate to them. Maybe you're not making the effort to be connected to them. And then that goes into the first stage, which is rejection, and you start to look for all the little things they do wrong. Now everything that they do annoys you because they didn't realize the first thing that they did annoy you.
Yes.
So everything they do now is just, an effort to you believe that it's an effort to get on your nerves. Like, oh, this person's supposed to be doing this, why aren't they doing that? See, it just proves the point that they don't care, they don't love you, they've been, they're constantly trying to disrespect you by just being alive. It turns into that, and it's bitterness.
Yes, and again in this phase of rejection, that's where you begin to see everything that your partner is doing is annoying. It's going to be irritating you now. Everything's annoying because now you feel rejected. Whatever that he does, like, I don't care. This guy is annoying me. All those type of things. Why? Because of exactly the same thing. From the first stage of resistance. Something happened there, and then we let it go through all the stages from stage 1, now stage 2. Now on stage 3, it becomes worse now, because now you feel like, I don't want to see this person anymore. Yeah. He's annoying me. Like everything that he says, even if he says, hello, happy birthday, I love you, they annoy you for saying that those words. Like it feels like, what?
Don't talk to me what you did that time.
Then they explode. How do you say you love me while blah blah? They start counting all those things that they happened in the previous.
They don't let go.
So they didn't let go of all those, and they never communicated it out to say, this is what happened, and this is what causes us not to do or not to be happy in our relationship anymore. So all those things needs to be cleared up, and for sure at some point, if we check on the rate of divorces, or you find that many people they went through divorce based on these 4 stages, and by the time they get into stage number 3, that's when a person says, I'm deciding that I'm leaving this person. out of that emotion,
anger, and frustration,
and envy, and all those things. And after that has been done, when you sit down and realize, sometimes after all these things, even if you go to any argument or fight with your partner, get to sit down and do a introspection on what went wrong. And you find that actually I'm the cause. Then the big step that needs to be taken there is to go and apologize. And many people don't want to apologize.
There's a lot of things
they don't want to apologize. And you just need to swallow your pride and apologize. Go and say, you know what? I realized that I said these things and I was not supposed to be saying that. I acted out of my emotions, not out of my intellectual part. So again, we go back to say, do not let your emotions overpower your intellectual. So whenever there's situation, act out of your intellectual part, not out of your emotion. So that then will help or to maintain the healthy relationship, friendship, or any partnership that is that you are part of. And stage 4, it says repression. think you one day can take this one.
No, profession, the final stage is just as worse as the last stage, is where everything has become suppressed, repressed. Now you're no longer partners, you're just roommates. You're no longer connecting or communicating. This is where you want to be out of each other's space so bad because you can't believe you are actually so close to this person at a moment in time. So understanding that, you know, when you are, you know, you've coped with all the anger, the issues, the things that have been irritating you, the things that, you know, you've picked up on. Now it's become like a big thing. It's no longer about that one thing. You've blown it out of proportion in your mind so much, it becomes a stage where you've become numb to it all now. And it no longer matters to you because you no longer have feelings or care about this person because you've told yourself in your head this story that this person doesn't care, this person doesn't care. Look at all these evidence of the times the person didn't care, even though it may not be the truth. It was the truth that you decided for them and not the actual truth that you let them explain themselves. Because to them, they may have not been doing anything wrong in the back of their mind, but because you have built a story in your head, you have now numbed yourself to anything they do. You no longer fight, you no longer you just want to get out of each other's hair. Like there's no more relationship left. It's just someone you used to know, you know? So yeah. Manuel,
yeah, and again, what Tony says is that what can prevent these 4 stages to happen is to communicate clearly in your relationship upfront, and make sure that you are upfront with your partner. Make sure that you tell them as it is, not tell it like it is, not like as it is, because like it is, it's like you are making it up. But as it is, then you make sure that you say you one day you drop the ball. You don't gonna say you one day you know you were passing and then after you passed the ball dropped. So you tell it as it is, to say you drop the ball, and also make sure that those rules that we spoke about when we start, to say you need to understand your rules and values. Make sure that those rules are known and can be met, so that both parties knows how to handle each other and how to go about supporting each other on their goals, on their dreams, because those make sure that they play a bigger part in a relationship to make sure that we have a healthy and wealthy relationship. Like for example, you like, let's say I'm not happy with my weight, or my partner is not happy with my weight, and then I say, no, I'll book a gym for you. You go to gym and lose your weight. Mine is fine. Like there's no support there. We need to go together to gym. We need to hit the gym together. I need to support you. If I need, I don't need to lose weight, but then I can add in some muscles. I'll do muscle exercises. You do your weight loss exercises. So it's support. I'm there with you. I'm there with you. I can't say you need to make a plan with your weight issue. So it's not how we need to communicate in a relationship. We need to say, love, I think now that you are gaining weight, and how about we go to gym and find out how can they help you, or how can they help us, not help you, how can they help us in this weight
get
issue.
Our health back on, get our health back on track. You're so right. And it goes into the 4th point of what Tony says, and is make sure that your relationship is the highest priority in your life. Otherwise it will take the back seat, and everything and other things will become more urgent, and you will just neglect what is going on in your relationship. So I feel that's another thing. People don't care, they can become complacent. They're like, oh, this is just another person in my life. I don't need to try anymore. I think there's a lot of reason for divorce as well. People don't try anymore. Just like, oh yeah, I got the girl, I got the guy. I don't need to keep my weight up. I don't need to, keep, trying or putting effort. We're married now. That all stops. That's a lie. You need to keep going for the fire to keep burning. But yeah, we're gonna quickly round up on the next 2 points, the last 2 points, because we're actually running out of time.
Yeah,
So,
no, I don't understand.
yeah, do you want to quickly go through point 5 and I'll quickly do point 6 and then we'll call it a wrap for today?
Sure. And also, so point 5, Tony says, one of the most important patterns that Becky and I discovered early that is critical to make our relationship last is to focus on each day and make it better rather than focusing on what might happen if it ended. So we see we need to focus on what's happening each day and not to focus on what's about to happen, not to focus on what's about to happen and ending up losing each other or something. We need to make sure that whatever that comes our way today, we tackle it together as a team, because we are in this relationship as a team, as one. We need to make sure that we fight it through together and come up with a plan of action on how to overcome that. So if we keep watching some toxic TV shows where, you know, certain things happens and then they end up divorcing or they end up not being together, you know, that we are watching, there's a saying that says what you focus on expand. So you end up inheriting all those behaviors of those people or that particular show that is always happening. And whenever an issue arises within our relationship, similar to that you saw on that program, what will happen? You quickly turn into that particular person or that you're watching. You end up being hurt, saying, "You know what? I'm leaving this person." Doing it, he keeps doing
you're
this. So
it. Yeah, you're prophesying. Like you're jinxing it. Don't say what you don't want.
Yeah. So you can't say I don't. You can't say I don't want to lose you. You must focus on we going to last. We have a long-lasting relationship.
Yeah.
When you say that the losing part, it's not part of our conversation, but the long-lasting, it's part of our conversation. And what we'll do is we'll focus on having a longer lasting relationship. And we attracted, it will happen.
Yeah. And I'm just going to quickly round up on the last point is each day, make sure that you appreciate your partner and remind yourself of why you love them so much and what it is you love about them. Remember those things. It's kind of like being grateful. Like, you know, when we are sad and we're down, we forget all the blessings around us. Like when we are angry or upset, instead of, there was a quote that I've seen that it really stuck, hit home for me. And it is a quote. It goes, just because someone did something wrong, don't forget all the things they did right. You know, just because, you know, there's this one thing that maybe got on your nerve that, you know, makes you feel so angry and so disgusted by this person. Don't forget all the things they did right in your life. You know, people make mistakes. No one is perfect. Everyone is human. But once you remember all the good things, all the good times, you know, and as long as, you know, it's not like infringing your health, whatever's going on now, or it's infringing, you know, your safety, like you should be able to forgive and forget and, you know, try and make the most of the time that you do have with this person. As Corona has shown us, life is not certain. We don't know if we have another day. And, you know, let's, you know, remind people why we love them, why we appreciate them, you know, say things like, how did I get so lucky to have you as a friend, as a partner, you know, just become fully, you know, associate to sharing your appreciation and your love for the person so they can feel it and they can hear it. And, you know, they really understand and know that they're being appreciated. And even you, it just reminds you, this person isn't so bad. They did this nice thing. They did this nice thing. I know they love me. Stop tripping and freaking out. So, yeah.
Yes. And another thing that one can do, that I normally do every day when I come to work, is I'll take, the sticky notes.
Yeah.
I'll take one and I'll write, I love you, and paste it by the door. So I know that whenever she wakes up and gets out, she will see that note there, I love you. And again, when you go to the kitchen, you just put another one, I miss you already. So that makes it, that makes your partner feel love all the time, because you keep writing all those things every day, and then they'll text you now and then and say, I miss you already, I love you. And so
it's really just the little things. It just doesn't have to be like a diamond ring, or it's just making the effort and making sure that you care, to show that you care.
Yes. And for the fact that you took your time and write it by your hand.
Yeah, so that means a lot.
That means a lot. And again, I always say that a time is the most precious gift that you can ever give to anyone. If I've written something down, I took my time to write it down. So
you didn't have to.
You have to respect that this thing was not typed. It's not like a social media post that I just shared. This one was written down. I sat down and I written it. It came from my heart, goes straight to your heart. So
wow. Those are points for you. You get loads of points probably for that. You know what's smart? When a man is smart, it's very dangerous.
But I think Tony being in a personal development space helps a lot. We just need to move away from all the negativity that we see all over media, because half of what the media says is negative.
Yeah.
We need to embrace the positivities in our life. So I just want to thank the audience, and also urge the audience that, you know what, let's keep a positive vibes in our life. Make sure that every day, regardless of whatever that happens, you become happy every single day. Make sure that your duty as a person is to be happy. And because when you are happy, everyone around you becomes happy. Just remember, whenever something comes that wants to make you angry, go back and find something that makes you happy. Go back to that thing and say, oh, okay, I've written I love you message to my wife. Then you become happy. Then forget about whatever these other people are saying about you around you. So then you become happy all the time, and then you end up influencing whoever that is around you to always be happy. Make sure that you become happy and stay positive at all times. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well done. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for joining us today and sharing your wisdom
thank you,
helping us, understand relationships and how to manage them properly. Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of, relationships that are at tension right now because of Corona. We've heard the divorce rate has gone up so high because people have to be with each other 24/7 of the day. So yeah, thank you. And hopefully loads of people got, a lot of insight, a lot of wisdom from this, and will be able to take this away and really, change their relationships and change their lives and change, their love lives, their colleagues, relationship with colleagues, with friends, with family, through doing this. So guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for your last words, Emmanuel. And well done, you did amazing. It's your first live, well done. It was amazing. You did great. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, Andy. You were amazing too, man. See you again when we meet.
Yes, definitely. Or maybe next time when you're on our live. Now we're gonna have you as a regular.
Sure.
Awesome. Okay. Sure. Thank you so much, guys. It was awesome talking and discussing this with you guys. Make sure that you tune in again on Friday, 1 p.m., same time, same place, where we'll share on the next chapter of Awaken the Giant Within. So anyway, take care, guys. Have an awesome day.